Big progress for Manchester United in the pursuit of arguably the hottest striker on the summer transfer market. It is Joshua Zirkzee, and here is an update. Manchester United are prepared to meet his buyout clause from Bologna, according to the latest coming through from the Telegraph. Subscribe, like, and share as I give it to you guys. It's moving, things are happening, things are progressing. There will be no setbacks, regardless what the naysayers will say. So let's get proper into this update now. Joshua Zirkzee, we know for a fact that Manchester United has already expressed interest in the young player, the Dutch international who plays for Bologna, scored about 11 goals for Bologna in 34 games for the club and 4 assists last season. He's a hot striker wanted by all clubs, but mostly AC Milan are believed to be in the lead at least before now. They were believed to be in the lead as the player expressed interest in joining them and staying in Italy. But Manchester United have spent the past days talking to his camp. He's right now focused on the Euros. He's with the Dutch national team, but Manchester United has spent the past days talking to his representatives, and the talks seem to have yielded something because by the time now we get a confirmation that Man United are now willing to meet his buyout clause that is believed to be just under £34 million, it's because the talks between the club and the players' side, Man United and the players' side, have been progressive because they have been trapped in this, trying to talk, try to convince him to be interested. I told you before, I think a couple of days ago, of how Man United is now ready to go into bidding wars because Ineos have brought in a team of accountants to try and do the math and cut costs and try to ensure that we make available every single penny that will be needed to make this summer transfer window a success for Ineos. The first one by Ineos, and indeed things are happening. So Joshua Zirkzee is probably now taking the lead in terms of the first prospect Man United could sign in this summer. And for me, I think it's an important one because I think the striking department, with Anthony Martial confirmed out of the club, there should be a clear replacement, and we should move on to the next as early as yesterday. So here is that's the progress. So for me, this news coming out now, why it's a good update is because it is proving to me that it's not just, the hearsay, the rumors that we've been hearing. I think this is now progress because the approach always for most clubs is you always first talk to the player's side. If the player is interested in joining you, then you can proceed and talk to the club. Now, the past days have been first United inquired about the player, trying to understand the terms and everything and his availability on the market. Then move on to the next step, talk to the player's side and try to see if the player would be interested in joining your project. Present the project to him if he's willing to listen. Now, after that, that is when you start trying to engage the club. It's the same thing that Chelsea did with Michael Olise as they try to speak to the player and then proceed to talk to Crystal Palace, according to the reports we had. So that's what they do. That's the process which you follow if you want to win over a player. Don't just go direct to a club before the player shows interest in joining you. So I think now that Man United are moving on to the next step of saying they are willing to meet his buyout clause, it's a sign that the talks with the players' camp were positive because we are trapped, according to the Athletic, we are trapped in talks with his agents for days. And I think for me, this is a big progress going on. For me, I have no reservations about Zirkzee. I think he's a different player. He's a different mode of a player. He's one who will come out there and push Rasmus Højlund to try and get the best out of him. Now, still talking Man United and our transfers. Well, as we wait for that bid that we expect to go in very soon, I expect that bid to be going in. I think I'll be here on the transfer tracker giving you an update on the bid. Watch out, turn on your notification bell because that should be dropping anytime soon from now. But the other news we've been hearing is about Adrian Rabiot. I hinted about it, saying that he's waiting for Manchester United as he's stalling and dragging I moved to the contract extension at Juventus. They're offering him a new contract, but he's dragging it as he's hoping that Man United will still come for him. Honestly, I tell you what, I'm not one of those who loves players who do not love Manchester United, especially if you're an old player, if you're not a hot young player like Zirkzee. I would understand if Zirkzee first said he wished, to go to AC Milan because probably United had not come up in the picture. But also the project was not clear. But for a player who is in your 30s, like Adrian Rabiot, to come out right now and be saying that he's stalling, his contract extension at Juventus, waiting for Manchester United, yet we wasted 2 summers on him. and he moved on from us. He didn't want to join us. Same with Frankie de Jong. I think for me, these are players we don't want to bring in at the club in terms of what Sajim Ratcliffe just confirmed to Bloomberg, what he's trying to build at the club, what he's trying to instill at the club. I think we need players who have got the hunger and desire to play for Manchester United. So for us bringing Rabiot right now is, I think, a thing of doing the same what we've been doing, getting players who would come and just add it on their CV that I played for Manchester United. I think Adrien Rabiot, if he's not staying at Juventus, can as well move on to Saudi and play football there. But there is that report that has been, coming about Rabiot being an option. For me, I really, it doesn't really excite me. It doesn't really excite me right now. I think with the Todibo situation almost publicized and clear now, with no expectation that Ineos will try to do something magical and ensure that UEFA allow them to sign Todibo. I think most likely, I think the next days the focus for Man United will be mostly on the striker Joshua Zirkzee, trying to seal that deal. I think it's so important that Man United seals at least what will be the first deal in the summer. And I know the fact that the Euros are going on, it might be difficult to sell a player, but I think the work can be done even when the player is playing, because we cannot wait until the end of the Euros for United for clubs to be signing players. That's why players have got representatives and stuff. Before the Zirkzee, as the Zirkzee talks were growing, there were reports suggesting that his agents were demanding for a lot of money. I think agent fees of about 15 million euros, which AC Milan thought was on the higher side. I don't know what Man United has dealt with that. Perhaps they have spoken to them and agreed to pay that fee, or probably agreed on something lower than that. But the reality is, I think right now United is in the lead. So for me, I think that first signing is so important for Man United, for us to have hope and belief in this Ineos project and what they're doing, for us to see that there is significant tangible progress that's going on. That's why it should excite all of us now that there is a big leap made in terms of trying to sign this young striker, 23 years of age, who is arguably the hottest on the market. Drop down in the comment section and give me your two cents about Joshua Zirkzee, whether you think he should be the ordained one, the chosen one. He should be the one who can push Rasmus Højlund to give us the best we could get out of him as a 72 million pound striker, or is he actually one who can come out there and take the lead past Rasmus Højlund as our first priority of a center forward, a striker? Let me know what you think. For Rabiot, I am not for him. I think we can forget about him. With Todibo gone, focus should now be on either Delete or Gonzalo Inacio or Mark Guehi. We should be now focusing on the centre backs. I think the next step is the centre back and the striker. We've spoken about a holding midfielder as well. Of course, this is clear. We need to watch out for this one. But I think we might want to be a little more careful when it comes to those. Of course, we've now been linked with Alvarez, the West Ham midfielder. But I think that is not one we will rush into, because it's a very sensitive one. Because the quality of the number 6 we sign is going to determine how good whichever centre back pairing we shall have will perform. So it's very critical. That's why we've got, I think, to spend even more time trying to sort it. Let's first deal with the easier ones, the striker, the centre back, perhaps a left back. We need to get the right number 6. If we get that right, trust you me, Manchester United will be back and up and performing at the level we hope them to be. My name is Webb. This is the NHL Sport. That was just a quick update of what has just come out from the Telegraph concerning Joshua Zirkzee. Drop down in the comment section. I'll be back later.